Hello, welcome once again to another edition of Empowered Ways. Empowered Ways is a self and business development program aimed at empowering especially the youth with information sufficient to help them discover their potentials, put them to use, and become who they were created to be. Another objective of Empowered Ways is to see how to motivate, to challenge, and to make you begin to see the truth in your existence, to make you begin to see the reality in your existence, and for you to truly live to your full capacity. Today we are going to be talking about yearning for freedom. You see, every individual at a certain stage would want to get freedom, and we call it independence. We want to become independent. And independent comes costly, independent comes expensive. The reason why we want to be independent is because we want to be free to do whatever we want to do, at whenever time we want to do it. This is what Philip Randolph said. Philip Randolph said, freedom is never given, it is won. If you want to be independent, then you have to win your freedom. You have to win your freedom. Your freedom will never be given to you. Nobody anywhere had just one day decided to say, okay, I want to set you free, except if there was a law saying that at so-so stage, at so-so year, at so-so time, you have to set this person free. And even in those laws, there is always a clause that could make the person still keep you under his control. So if you are yearning for freedom and you want to be free, remember this: nobody will give you freedom. You have to win freedom for yourself. You have to fight for it. You have to do whatever is needed for you to gain the freedom. You have to pay the price to gain the freedom. So if you have not been free all this while, just know that it is because you have not won the freedom. You have to win it. You just have to win it. And I believe that the desire for freedom, the yearning for freedom, is a natural event that every human being, every individual at a certain stage, life must force you into getting your freedom. So getting your freedom is a natural event. It's a natural occurrence. There is a stage in life that you just must become free. If you don't want to be free, life will force freedom on you. Life desires every individual to be independent, to be free. It will do all it can to force you into getting this freedom. Let me tell you a quick story. At the time when I was staying with an elder cousin of mine, I've been there for years. And then at a certain stage, the children have grown up. They can do a lot of things in the house. I no longer sweep. I no longer clean the compound. I no longer wash the car, because these children can do them. What I do at that stage is to monitor them, to ensure that they do this, to apportion the task to them, and then they'll do it. Those who couldn't do it, I will find a way to make them to do it. And if they are stubborn, I give them a little discipline. But at the stage, I noticed that the parents were not happy with the way I was handling those issues. Now, was it because I was doing something wrong? Initially, I thought so. But at the time, I realized that that was not it. It was because at that stage, I needed to be on my own. I need to be free. I need to be independent. I need to begin to control my life and not others. And of course, you see, this is one thing with freedom. People that yearn for freedom want to begin to control the lives of others. We're going to talk more about that. But I began to see how to control these children. And when they don't do the things I think they should do, I would want to discipline them. But the parents were not happy. So at the time they called me and started letting me to know that I don't have to discipline these children. I could as well do those jobs myself. But I thought to myself that I shouldn't be doing it when these children are grown enough to do this job. So I began to realize that the best way I can take care of this issue without running into trouble and issues with my elder cousin is to become independent. Is to stay on my own. So I was planning on how to go and stay on my own until I left. And even leaving that place, I wasn't staying on my own. I have to go and stay with my elder sister. And then I still faced the same issue. But at the end of it, I realized that this is not their fault. It is my own fault. At that stage and age, I should have been on my own. I should have been free. I should have been paying my rent. I should have been feeding myself. I should have been taking care of myself. Every of my responsibilities should have been mine. When I realized that, then I said, wow, if I had known this, I wouldn't have even bothered to stay this long with these people. Now, but you see, a lot of us want to still stay under someone. A lot of us want people to take responsibility over us, and yet we want to be free. You are not free until you begin to take your own personal responsibility. And you cannot be free until you do this. So now the question is, what are the signs of freedom? What are the things we need to begin to look at for us to know that we are supposed to be free at this stage? The first sign of freedom I have identified is that you want to begin to control others. You would want to begin to, especially your siblings, your younger ones, you would want to begin to control them. You want to begin to tell them the things they need to do, how they should do them, and when they don't do it, you want to punish them for not doing it. There is this tendency you want people to just do what you want them to do. That's the first sign of freedom. You begin to see how younger ones that are close to you, you want to tell them how to live their own life. You want to, but even your own life, you at that stage you are not also willing to allow someone to tell you. So you want to exercise some measure of control over people, especially the younger ones. That's the first sign of freedom. The next sign of freedom is you want to do things the way you like it. You don't want anybody to tell you how to do things. You just want to do it the way you want it to be done. You can't be under someone's responsibility and be doing things the way you like it. You have to do it the way the person's like. That is why they say, he that pays the piper dictates the tune. If you want to dictate your tune, then pay yourself. Pay your piper. That is another sign of yearning for freedom. Another sign of freedom. You want to do things the way you like. You just want to. You can't be under someone and doing the things the way you like. The third sign of freedom we are going to talk about now is you constantly give excuses. You constantly give excuses. Why you are not doing this? Why you are not doing that? You are supposed to do this. You are looking for reasons why you are not doing it. The reason is not because you truly don't want to do it, but because you think that you shouldn't be the one to do it. And this stems from the fact that you don't want to be controlled. You don't want someone to be deciding your steps. You don't want someone to be deciding the things you do. This is where this comes from. You give excuses. You look for a way to dodge responsibility. Well, that's not a fine sign. But the truth is, it is because there is this drive for you to become free. That is why you are finding excuses. That is why you don't want to do the things the way the person is telling you to do it. You actually want to do it your own way, but because you know that if you do it your own way, it will not be pleasing to him. So you find a way and dodge that issue. You don't want to do it. That is another sign of freedom. There could be so many other signs. But now let's look at it. Why and how do we prepare for freedom? How do we prepare for freedom? After seeing all of these signs, then you need to prepare for freedom. You can't just go into freedom. You can't just get independence without being prepared. As a matter of fact, let me chip in this. Nigeria is where we are today because those who fought for our independence were never prepared for independence. I hate to say this, but that is the truth. A lot of people will say we should begin to look at our forefathers and how they fought, how they got independence, how they prepared the ground for us. They never did anything. They only just want to exercise control. They were never prepared for the control. That is the reason why Nigeria has not developed. Otherwise, how can you tell me that just about 4 or 5 years after getting independence, they started fighting themselves? Those who prepare themselves for war don't go into the war and begin to fight themselves. They prepare to go and fight the enemy, not themselves. If you want to truly be independent, you have to prepare for it. Now the question is, how do you prepare for independence? The first thing you must do, first have an understanding that the mistreatment you are getting from whoever that you are still under his control right now is a natural event. It's not because the person hates you. It's just natural. If it doesn't happen that way and you feel comfortable and you are doing things the way you like it under the control of someone else, There will always be conflict. So it's a natural event. Understand that it's natural. Life works that way. If you don't take your independence by yourself, you have to be forced to win it. If you don't take your independence by yourself, your life has to force it on you, and you must accept it. So that is a natural thing. These people don't hate you. Maybe they don't even understand that this is what is working in your life. But they just suddenly begin to appear very indifferent about you. They suddenly begin to appear very attacking. They begin to attack you, very antagonizing at you. Every little thing you see them pick offense at it. This is because that is how life is. Life is what is dealing with you, not those people. No matter how good your parents are, there is a stage you get to, they call you and say, man, don't you think it is time you begin to consider staying on your own? No matter how wealthy your parents are, no matter how much they love you, if they can't tell you that directly, maybe they begin to show you something and say, I need a grandchild. When are you going to give me a grandchild? They are indirectly telling you, please go and stay on your own. It is natural. So don't hate anybody for it. Don't begin to take it personal. It is just natural, and it's for your own good. That is the first thing you need to do when you are preparing for independence. Then the next thing is you have to plan your future. You have to plan your life. You have to plan how your independence is going to be. If you don't plan it, if you don't have a picture of how your independence is going to be, when the independence truly comes, when the freedom truly comes, you will not understand what to do. You'll be confused in it. You see, that is why a lot of young people who rush into staying on their own and becoming independent, they make a lot of mistakes. They make a lot of blunder. Yes, it is still good, because for me, I don't see mistake as something that is bad. Mistake is something that is good. But you can avoid a lot of these mistakes by first of all planning. How do you plan? You begin to tell yourself, okay, let's take for a practical example, I am going to rent so type of apartment, and then I'm going to stay there for a certain number of months or years before I begin to talk about marriage with my woman, with my girl, with my fiancé. And then you just have to plan the stages, the years, and the things you need to do. Plan it. Whatever, the least plan is better than no plan at all. Even if it is just a one sentence plan, do a planning. Have a mental picture of how your freedom is going to be, how your life is going to be. Yeah, it's true, a lot of people, especially the younger ones who stay with their parents, when they are beginning to plan about freedom, because one thing the parents never allow them to do so much is, especially these days, is to party. So they want to stay on their own so that they can go out partying anyhow they want it. I'm not saying this is wrong, but I'm saying that this should not be your primary focus of becoming independent, because there are a lot of more weightier things, a lot of more important things you need to consider in your freedom. So plan your life, plan how your freedom is going to be, set time frame for almost everything you're going to be, especially within your first 5 years. Plan it. The next thing you need to do is that be ready for it. After planning, you have to be ready for it. First of all, you can't say you are free and then you want to go and stay with your friend. The same thing that happened in your uncle's, in your father's, in your relative's house will happen in your friend's house. So be ready for it. Be ready for it. Be ready. Responsibility is huge when you are free. Be ready to feed yourself. Be ready to pay your bills. Let me also add this. At the time, I told my father that he should respect me at least because I'm an adult. Because the man would just keep telling me things as if I'm still a child, even when I was 25 years and above. And you know what my father told me? He said, if you say you are an adult, then begin to feed yourself. At least that alone will let me know that you are an adult. I never took that to be serious until I started feeding myself. At 26, I started feeding myself. And then when I realized this, I said, wow, this man, you are really wise. And that was truth. Be ready for your responsibility. Be ready for your freedom. Now, after doing this, you need to actually becoming free. So, becoming free, what are the things you need to do? Take full responsibility. take full responsibility. Pay your bills. You can't be going to look for someone else to still pay your bills for you. You have to take full responsibility. Take full responsibility. You can't go back to your parents and say, I need house rent. You must be the one to pay it. You can't go back to your relatives and say, wow, I'm hungry, I don't have food in the house. Nobody will listen to you. They might sympathize with you. They might even promise to help you, but they may end up not helping you at all. Not because they don't want to help you, but because you have told them by becoming free that you are responsible. So you can't go back to them and be asking them to still help you the way they used to. There's a tendency you want to do that. But my dear, you have to take full responsibility of your freedom. Going back to Nigeria again. You see how Nigeria runs abroad looking for those to help them and all of those stuff. When we have enough to help ourselves, it was because those who fought for our independence were not responsible enough to take care of ourselves. They were not mature, they were not grown enough to take care of this country. They felt, okay, every other nation is getting independence, we can. When they were not prepared, when they were not ready, when they were not even ready to take the responsibility. That is why you see us running every now and then to one foreign countries to look for help and this and that. But that is the truth. We are not ready as a nation to be independent. We are not. So don't be like Nigeria. Be ready to take responsibility when you are independent. When you become free, be ready. The next thing is, don't go back asking for help. You can't say you have won independence and then you still run about those same people you told them to give you your freedom, and then you are still going to ask them to help you every now and then. Don't go back asking for help. Even if you must do that, let it be at a very critical moment, at a time of emergency. That's the only time you should go ask for help. You don't go back to the people you have told that you are now an adult and then you are still going to behave as a child. Get your freedom. Take responsibility. Don't go asking for help. That is what it means to be free. Don't go asking for help. Don't go back to your father and tell your father that your son is sick. You need to take your son to the hospital and you don't have money. It's a shame. But I have said, if it is a critical moment, of course you can do that. You can do that. You are allowed. But you can't just always go back for help. And then finally what we are going to say now is, stay away for some time. Stay away from these people for some time. If you want to really be truly independent, please stay away from the people that have controlled you for some time. You will truly gain your respect. And whenever you come around them, you see the same people will never treat you the way they used to treat you before. They will respect you. They will give you honor. And then you will be respected. But please, while staying away, don't go back dejected. Don't go back as a pauper. Don't go back as someone who has been suffering. Do everything you can to go back as someone who has been truly responsible. And when you do this, I am telling you that you will truly gain your freedom. If you want me to speak to your youth, to your church members, to your staff, to motivate, to encourage and to challenge them, you can call me. The contact is displayed on your screen. And if you are listening to this on audio, you can call me by dialing the number 0802 3755 992. My name is Ezekiel Intesat. God bless you.